back in the old days, and the real power in the studios was not the production people, but distribution people, who were a bunch of old white guys who dealt with the old white guys who owned the movie theaters. I remember being at a screening once of this, golly, it was a Julia Roberts movie. It was a distribution screening. And this old guy with dandruff as big as my thumbnails and 2 strands of hair walks out and goes, I wouldn't Julia Roberts. And I went, did she ask you? What are you talking about? But these are the people who were booking movie theaters in those days. And the real power in movie making or getting movies out has always been distribution and financing. And we have to find a way to make the finance part as glamorous as the other part, and that will attract young people and women and people of color to see. That's where the real power is. There's as much power as there is in front of the screen. Finding the money is a kind of a power too.
I guess, I mean, because what we do, we kind of have 3 pillars of what we do. So there's education, there's grants, and there's festivals. So education is a key pillar to what we need to do. And it'd be interesting to kind of put out there and ask the question, how many people, how many women know the route into finance? And until we educate and give them the alleyway in order to get into those positions, we're not going to be able to make the changes that we need to make. So educating the audience and who we are, I think, is going to be key to the success, really.
I was just going to say, and bridging that gap between, as we mentioned, we're filmmakers, we're creatives. And I mean, Alex is a producer, creative, we're all multi-hyphenates, but I didn't know about investment when I made my first feature. And I know Rana Monk is also a first-time female director. And that's why we always tell our directors to come to our finance workshops to learn, because I was taken advantage of in a lot of ways. And I think it's so important that we don't have this division between finance, creative. There's creativity to finance, and there's a business to creativity. And it's very important that we protect ourselves, that we understand financing, we understand the options available to us. And that's really the bridge that we're trying to make as an organization, to empower women and marginalized filmmakers to really understand the money and the business of the film.
Margaret, have you educated yourself on the finance part of this whole thing too?
It's the best part. I mean, that's where you're going, is you're empowering them. You're empowering their voices. That's the amplification, is the financial piece. You know, it's like the confidence they need because they have the money behind them. So it's really powerful. It's really important what you're doing.
It's also kind of saying, look, the door is open, because there was a time where I think they'd go, listen, don't you worry about money. Don't you worry about it. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of you.
Which is a way of taking advantage by saying, exactly, you leave this to us. Yeah. You just get your pretty little head out there and go make the movie. We'll take care of everything else. And then when the movie makes money, any kind of money, you're still chasing to try to get your part back so you can go and make another film.
Yeah. Not realizing that the deal that has been done is not in your favor and you have no control. So, yeah, I mean, education is power. If we're able to do that, then we're able to kind of get where we need to be. And that sort of fits into where we go to with the festivals. Doing things like this gives us the opportunity to amplify the message, to let everybody know what needs to be done. And then we have the grant, which is a key thing. When we first started, I mean, Daphne's kind of underplaying what she did when she first started with our friend Emily Carlton. She was literally on the Quasette with flyers, kind of going out there, beating down doors, saying, please come to our event. We need to make some noise. And then from there, we've been able to grow it to where we are now. And one of the first things we did was kind of, let's make, not just make noise, let's give money. Let's see how we can raise money in order to give it to the filmmakers. So very much what we're looking to do is, how do we increase the grants? How do we get more money to people in order to get to where we need to be?
Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to say, right from that first year, we understood that there's education needed on both sides. And here we are, young filmmakers. We didn't know much, but I had, through my event work, an opportunity from an investor that was leaving the tech world, and he loved film. And he just said, if we were to come to Cannes, can you organize something? And it just made me realize, and we were very lucky to connect early on with Jasmine Morrison, who's now head of business at Sky. And she could see we didn't really know about the business part of what we were doing, but she said, this is brilliant, because a lot of the people with money and power that are interested in film, they're hesitant. They don't want to go with a sign on their head that says, I'm an investor, but they're very interested to discover new projects and learn about the industry. We also are, work with them, and We met Catherine Mosley, who's an incredible EP and financier based in California. She helped us set the nonprofit up, and then we went from there. But it's the support. We really want to support both sides of the industry. So we want to protect, the investors and understand who's funding films, why, how, talk with them, and then the filmmakers, the creative, and essentially connect those two groups. We receive submissions from 60 countries around the world, and it just shows, and routinely, and again, I think what makes us unique is that we ourselves are filmmakers. We've got a film right now Alex and I are working on together. We get it, and it's just gut-wrenching going through these submissions because I was literally, almost in tears because I just said there's so much more help that's needed. We only have a very small drop in the bucket. We call it an action grant, $10,000, because it's just meant to help you take action in a certain area. We all know that putting films together, you can have investment committed, but you still can't afford your location.
Also, let's not forget that Sean Baker's Tangerine was made for $50,000 with an iPhone. So $10,000 is not a small amount of money to commit.
And it's more than the money, it's the vote of confidence that gets you through. That is so important. It's actually what's really, really valuable. It's like, you deserve to do this and you should do this, and it's not nothing. So it's a really, really important shot in the arm.
They can also attract more money too once you get the first investment.
That's exactly what's happened. So we have our winner, which gets the grant, and then we always aim to fly the 5 films which are on our shortlist out to Cannes. And we've had films get financed because we brought them to Cannes. Wow. And sometimes it's the first time they've left the States. We've had people say, we would not be able to be here without you guys. And then they walk away. And, we heard someone say the other day, there was very much before Cannes and after Cannes. And thank you, because that was because of you. It was,
it was so important just from the beginning that we don't take money from the filmmakers, especially if we're a financing initiative. But a lot of these programs, you pay to go, and very understandable. We understand the financial struggles firsthand, but it was so important. So we always look for a sponsor to be able to provide a travel grant to actually offset the cost for them of coming. The festivals can be really prohibitive because of the cost involved to go. And you've got brilliant stories that never get seen. They don't talk, because they can't afford to be there. So that was so super important for us.